Not a sponsor, by the way. What is up, YouTube? A couple quick announcements. First off, there's an upcoming Monster Train tournament on March 20th, and qualifiers are happening right now. I will actually be one of the co-hosts and color commentator for that, so I'm super excited. Secondly, I'm going to be hosting an event called Monster Train Week to celebrate the upcoming DLC release. It'll be running from Thursday the 25th through Sunday the 28th. This is going to feature some longer streams, also some really goofy challenges, and even some collaborative content between me and other streamers. It's currently looking like the collaborative content is going to be streamed on Saturday the 27th, but nothing is set in stone yet, so if you don't want to miss a thing, go follow my stream. One last quick note, we did have some footage corrupted when making this video, so I had to go rip all of this from the Twitch VOD. The run felt pretty interesting, so I didn't want to just throw something in its place. Anyways, with all that said, keep your trains rolling, and I'll catch you in the next one.
You know those people that leave cabinet doors open? I've never... Apparently that's a problem with some roommates.
No, people leaving cabinet doors open as, like, a big societal problem sounds like something you would see in, like, a as seen on TV commercial. Like, well, are you tired of always leaving your cabinet doors open? Or those pesky house guests?
You leave or your mother-in-law that lives with you.
Like, what?
That's fair. I've never had that problem with a person, but I haven't lived with a large variety of people. Well, there was a life hack to fix that. And someone bought a bag of giant googly eyes off Amazon and put them on the inside of the cabinets when you opened them. It looked like they were staring at you. So if you left them open, there were just these giant googly eyes everywhere.
What if you don't notice them?
I would the first few times and then just kind of be oblivious to them. I don't know why that bothers people. Like, just close them.
Well, yeah, I mean, also, like... Yeah, I don't see what the big problem with having a cabinet be open for a little while it is. Like, if it's an OCD thing, then, like, the OCD person... Like, if you're the OCD person, just go close it. Quell yourself.
Someone usually forgets to flush. That's kind of nasty. I can see making a deal about that, but having the cabinet doors open...
Yeah, but then that's a matter of, like, reciprocation. Like, you do a thing for another person because you want it done for you, you know? And that makes more sense, I think.
Alright. It's like a consideration thing.
Seraph the Temperate is on the weaker end here. Fell Wings of Light Multi-Strike Rage Fell is one that people tend to have a big problem with. I don't really see it as being a big deal. Usually kill the Alabaster Guardians pretty fast. This deck can chump block the raging units, unless it's like a sweeping raging unit. And most decks just burst them down. Like if you're playing Stygian, you just kill them with spells. So people seem to be worried about this one. I'm really only worried about Scourge Fell. Certain decks destroy Scourge Fell, but certain decks kind of fold to her. None of the Daedalus forms are really that threatening. Double Explosion's probably the most threatening one, though. Imp Sickle right off the bat seems very strong. Imp Sickle's like the one argument for taking Parade here. I'll still probably just take Rally. Yeah. But it's not bad. It's a good start. Armor 10 for a unit draft. I do have double Horn Break here. I'm actually not too worried about this. I should be able to burst down the frontliner. I have to be very careful about the Apprentices of like killing imps though. Usually what'll happen is you'll use backline train stewards or backline imps after chump blocks to clear off the damage shield that it gets from your frontline imps. And then from that point, this deck uses the primitive molds to make imps big enough that where the Apprentice Flight can't just slay them. I think I'll be fine here, and I actually want more looks at units. Wickless Baron is kind of a key for this deck, alongside Big Sludge. Alright. So, I like Hornbreak, Queen Zimpling, and maybe a Train Steward here. Train Steward can knock off the damage shield. I could just avoid giving this thing damage shield by not letting it kill the Queen Zimpling, but then I don't have a Queen Zimpling to primitive mold for a later turn. So I'd actually rather it get the kill here. Good to get the Collector on top there. Also pretty nice to have this Pyre Chomper here, actually. Okay, Train Steward still knocks off the damage shield on this bottom one. I think I'm going to go ahead and Primitive Mold. I'm almost guaranteed to draw a Primitive Mold next turn. In fact, I'm likely to draw 2 of them, and I should play towards that. This first Apprentice of Light is going to be my biggest problem here. So something like Apprentice of Light, or Queen Zimpling Pyre Chomper this floor, the Pyre Chomper taking off the damage shield, and then a buffed up Queen Zimpling. A buffed up Queen Zimpling might just go on this floor, actually. There's a lot of options available to us. Yeah, I think I'd rather just get the extra 6 damage from the Queen Zimpling on this Apprentice of Light. Make sure we deal with the first one. The ones after it shouldn't be a problem. Might just double Queen Zimpling here. I'd like to get more of these in the bin. Probably should have just played Pyre Chomper. I don't really need to get more things down here. Space is going to start becoming an issue. It's still probably correct. Though putting it in the cycle for Primitive Mold is pretty awkward. I think the play I made might have just been the better one. It's close though. Alright, nice that this Apprentice of Light doesn't get a kill here. The Molting Imp shouldn't be that relevant to play here. I'm very likely to hit Hornbreak. And I'd rather just get the 10 damage in. There's Hornbreak. Oh, Transcend Imp. That's pretty gas. So, Primitive Mold hits 1 Imp. Hornbreak up there. So I'm probably Queen Zimpling here as a blocker, Hornbreak, the Disciple Foot Soldier, and then Transcend Imp bottom. Seems like a good play. I will want to hit another Hornbreak for the Disciple Foot Soldier before it gets to the top, but I'm about to recycle my deck with both Hornbreaks still in it. Which is kind of nice. So let's just save the immediate life. Nothing but Queen Zimpling so far. Alright, I will need that Hornbreak at some point. Could start becoming a problem here. Might just, yeah, it's worth just giving him the extra hit. Yeah. Actually, it's fine without worrying about the Disciple Foot Soldier, but might as well. Get imped on. It's my new catchphrase.
That's not bad.
Ooh, Infinite Box. So Infinite Box actually, oh my gosh. Like, alright, I'm putting that there. I mean, we can't not. At least I'm getting lucky to see it a lot. Tom, you did see me have all the luck that you would expect from the Master of Clinks the other day. So maybe I deserve this. Maybe that's what I'm being told. That Plink was pretty legendary. I need to go back and clip that. Alright, well, as long as the game's just going to let us do the thing, we're going to do the thing. I think the Wickless Tycoon is just fine enough in the early game, though you want to get it out for late game. So it's not going to dump your guaranteed unit draws. Unit draft side seems fine here. I don't have insane mana generation, so Remnant Banners are going to be better on average. Large Stone's pretty solid on the Wickless Tycoon. Burnout for the Molten Encasement's also good. There's a Wickless Baron. Do I just Large Stone Wickless Baron? The Tycoon's kind of just doing what he's doing by chump blocking. He's not actually acting as a frontliner. So I think I'd like to just set up the Wickless Baron long term. Also, getting it buffed up early for Hellvents is really nice because Wickless Baron's going to be a good card to dupe long term. This trial can actually be pretty annoying, especially with the fact that I'm facing Conduit Infiltrators here. Could end up taking a lot of damage, and I can't afford to be softened up too much going into Spike Boss. I think this is actually a skip. I really just don't need the unit draft at this point. It's honestly not that bad, just taking it for 10 gold, but not quite worth. Okay. Getting a Welder Helper in the back here is actually kind of nice, since it'll generate an extra kill on the Wickless Tycoon's floor. It's unfortunate I can't really use Shardtail Queen plus Wickless Baron to a great degree. Might just want to Wickless Baron, Wickless Tycoon. It's just an awkward floor. I think Wickless Tycoon goes middle, and I try to set up a way to kill the Conduit Infiltrator that's coming in that last wave with the boss. And kill whatever Conduit Infiltrators I can in the meantime, just for the sake of getting Wickless Baron more Harvest Triggers. As long as I'm softening up waves for Shardtail Queen, I should be fine. In fact, maybe I just don't set up Wickless Baron right now. Just try to make money and still get the kills. Gonna make a lot of money. Okay. Queen Zimpling probably just wants to go bottom. I do need to be very mindful of preserving health on Shardtail Queen so she can strike the boss a lot more. The spikes on him is going to be a real problem. If I Impish Scholar plus Queen Zimpling here, and then I can Hornbreak the Disciple Foot Soldier here. Gives me more rally triggers, more things to block next turn. It means I kill less things here, which is a bit annoying. It'd be nice to actually Queen Zimpling on this floor. If I Queen Zimpling that floor, then I could just Hornbreak Impish Scholar here. I end up taking 1 damage. If I have to kill the Collector like that. I think there's no point in taking the damage. I guess it's a damage for 5 gold. That's not a bad exchange rate. When you put it like that, yeah, alright. Alright. Talked myself into it. I also take 1 damage on Shardtail Queen, which could be relevant. I think it might be Spikes 3 on the boss. So that could actually cost her a hit. Though I'm not sure on that. Let's Fledgling Imp backline. And then I'll throw something on in front afterwards. Preferably a Molting Imp. There it is. Called it. Now we get a little time to let this guy start floating up. Be nice to hit some Burnout 1 imps here. Burnout 2 is actually still acceptable. They'll die in time. Ooh, another imp in a box. Also sweet. All of the imps. Okay. Do have this Molten Encasement. This is only Spikes 2. I shouldn't have a problem killing. Actually really sucks this Impish Scholar here now, thanks to Welder Helper. Can't kill it, unfortunately. Probably still just fine throwing Molten Encasement down. Actually gonna Welder Helper front. Molten Encasement, and then see what we can do with a random imp. Alright. We're good. All of this is kind of mediocre. Again, I usually love Hidden Passage, just not good in a deck where you need the extra capacity every single turn just for the sake of being able to play things. It's not so much about not having the space to play all the things you want for the sake of building up a kill floor. It's just having the ability to play things with summon effects and having chump blockers and things to harvest. Right side seems awesome here. Herzl's Hordes are just really, really insane. I'm going to look at Herzl's Horde first. There's so few Hellhorn banners units I would actually take. The one way I probably take Hellhorn units here is actually Gurg's Goad, so I'm going to look at the artifact first. Neither of those is a Gurg's Goad. Jackstrip seems insane, though. Jackstrips with Wickless Baron and Tycoon set up on 2nd and 3rd floor seems really sweet. Consumer of Crowns. Oh, the meme. The meme. Oh. Oh, no. Oh no, the meme. Okay. So consumer, not actually generally that good. I love it, and I love it in casual playthroughs. The big problem with consumer is that in your opening hand, you're not that likely to be able to play it. You're just not going to have enough imps on turn 1. You'd have to have 3 and a mana upgrade to be able to play it. And even then, it's very room restrictive. Its stats aren't like quite that good to make up for it. It can just really gunk up your guaranteed unit draw. The fact that I already have 2 other units to draw, meaning that I'm somewhat likely to draw this consumer later on, is not bad. I might just be able to play it mid-cycle. Do I have space for it? That's a little more questionable. I'm probably just going to be taking a lot of space. This really just incentivizes me to take a single Emberstone. I guess it's not that bad to have a consumer floating around for later. And I do have the Imp Sickle for more guaranteed imps. I think I'm going to take it. I don't think it's actually that much of a meme here. Weirdly enough. This is... Okay. We're doing it. Purge a card, gain a card. I could just go for the max lulls and just purge the consumer crowns. Alright. Let's get the Train Steward out of here. It's not an imp. Train Steward. Oh, no. Okay. That's probably the one I would have picked anyways. It was Melting Remnant rare or Hellhorn rare. I think the Hellhorn rare is going to be better on average. Though this is a skip. Too many clicks. Okay. So we're doing a bit of a meme. It's fine. Everything's fine. I mean, if we just get to play this in the early game, it's gonna carry pretty hard. Look at that. No Consumer of Crowns in the opening hand. Also, Wickless Tycoon, Molting Imp turn 1. Oh. Ooh, baby. Let's get some imps actually safe up with our Shardtail Queen. One to block explosives, but also to set up for consumer on middle floor. Can actually only play one of them, which is fine. One singular imp. Daedalus, you just leave it. You just left a bomb there. It's very uncouth. Alright, Welder Helper is going to do a decent bit of work here. I might just Welder Helper bottom floor in the back. It's not really going to equate to killing a lot more things, but it's another safe imp, keeps my Wickless Tycoon alive longer, because I'm going to Primitive Mold here, which is guaranteed Molting Imp. This seems pretty solid overall. Can even see throwing him in front. He'll survive long enough for me to be able to go through a cycle of my deck in front, and then he'll die and clear space for Wickless Tycoon. Okay, I like that. And I like getting my Molting Imp going up here. Can't really play the Wickless Baron because I'm going to need the space here for Consumer of Crowns. So let's get the Welder Helper down first. Primitive Mold. I actually like to... I'm going to Molting him in front to block the death triggers. Now I'll have 2 imps on the board plus my 1 guaranteed imp draw. So it should be fine. And start building up rally triggers. There's the consumer. Pyre Chomper to boot. Alright. That's pretty sweet. I think I'm cool just getting more death triggers here. This Molting Imp doesn't die fast enough. So it is worth nothing to me. Oh man, we're going to start really beating some face here. Let's try to just preserve health on the consumer as much as possible. Okay. Just keep trying to maximize death. At this point, let's see. So these two are going to go up with 3 each, so I will get a train steward to die in a very, like, convenient way. Next turn. Yo, Saltus, have you ever, if you're still here, you ever checked out Monster Train? It is, this game right here, it's very similar to Slay the Spire, is the game that most people would know in this kind of genre. Roguelike deck builder. I think actually getting another Imp in a box is pretty solid here. Imp Scholar also burns out on this top floor. Keep clearing space while saving health on my Shardtail Queen, generating rally triggers. I have one more extra space. It'd be nicer for something that has burnout 1. But it doesn't look like we're getting there. Can get a Molting Imp to actually just die here, which is sweet. And then another Molting Imp set up for next turn. Help me kill the frontliner. Train Steward's not what I want to see there. What's an ideal? Not your kind of game. Like having on the background Twitch. Do you mean Slay the Spire or Monster Train? Not sure which one you've played before. This is at 35, so I don't actually change what's going to end up killing it, right? I don't change what's going to end up killing it between Queen Zimpling or Molting Imp, so I might as well Molting Imp. Here, I think I'll actually go ahead and play an Imp. Having an Imp actually, it'll still end up dying, which is nice. Just clearing that out, saving the life, and having it get off the floor. Both of them. I think I find Monster Train a little more entertaining to watch than Slay the Spire. And then playing is a little bit closer. I think essentially the delta between them separates a little more between playing and watching. The more interesting thing about Monster Train is just the... I guess actually it kind of applies to both playing and watching. It's the adaptation and little, like, micro synergies that are built by combining two clans together. This is just, like, easy bounty stalker, right? I'm on a Molten Encasement run here, so my capacity is a bit of a problem, I will say. Maybe it's just not that necessary, and it's going to gunk up my deck. I think I actually take Alloy the Ancients then. Yeah, let's take Alloy. As weird as it is to skip a Bounty Stalker this early, capacity is just going to be a big problem for me. Basically, you just can't take units at this point. I might need 1 mana here. If I don't end up playing the Consumer of Crowns in the first cycle, it's not that bad. Yeah, let's just take capacity. I'll play him later. Alright. I would like to just go ahead and start upgrading my consumers. I'm going Merchant of Trinkets this ring, which then sets me up for Hellvent here if I get a good unit built off of this Merchant of Steel. Preferably a good Consumer of Crowns. There's Multi-Strike. Oof. It's a big boy. At this point, is it better to health him or just try to quick later on? I'm probably chump blocking a lot for him. So so I'm not sure the quick is going to be that relevant. It's also not like a quick consumer of crowns. Even with multi-strike, is still dealing with like a wave of gilded wings. Like gilded wing plus tank. So I think having the extra health is going to be nice. Extra health is almost just as valuable on a wickless Baron. That's something I could see. I think my plan long term is actually just molten encasement on my consumer floor. And if I'm going to go molten encasement on consumer floor, then I would rather have some kind of other upgrade on him, like another multi-strike upgrade. So maybe I just take the... I don't even really want to buff this Wickless Tycoon at this point, because I'm just going to throw him away pretty soon. He does provide actually some good insulation for hitting my Consumer of Crowns later on in my draw. That's a tough one. I think if I'm seeing another multi-strike, it's probably going on Consumer. I'm just going to reroll here. I'm likely to hit a couple of good upgrades I would want on my Tycoon anyways. Okay, there's Endless for the Molten Encasement, so we just can't lose now. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'm going to go and throw health on Wickless Tycoon. Banner is a skip no matter what we see there. And... Huh. Do we parade just to be able to increase the chances I can play a consumer on turn 1? Or even on just any later turn? I think the answer is actually yes. We give up our ability to sweep, but at this point we're probably just going double consumer plus molten encasement on the floor, and that'll kill pretty much everything. I think Imp Parade's actually the pick here. That feels like a weird one. Alright, this is a more interesting way to win with a molten encasement. It's at this point it's like, it's not about having an interesting way to win that involves any set of cards. It's like, what way are you going to win with your molten encasement? That's the real question. Sycophants is like the easiest Mark of Invasion setup. You can run into some awkward scenarios with this deck where you end up Queen's Impling or like having some big units kill some of the Sycophants that spawn on the middle floor. Then that wave does a lot of damage, but I think this is going to be fine overall. How to murder your opponent with your Molten Encasement deck. Okay, this consumer is nuts. I'll probably just throw him on bottom floor. Might let this wave go up. And just be okay with that. Sure, I could throw a couple imps in the back and actually clear this out a decent bit, but I should be able to do that with some combination of like Queen's Implings and Hornbreaks next turn. And not take too much damage. Also not too worried about taking some damage right now. And I don't want imps stuck in the back line right now. I'd rather just get some chump blocking. Oh yeah, I have jack strips. Sometimes you just have jack strips and forget you have jack strips. Alright, Wickless Tycoon seems like it's going to be an absolute monster on bottom floor. So I might as well just Queen Simpling up here. Throw him in front, I guess. Order shouldn't matter too much long term. I do think I want to start chump blocking. I'm going to kill on this floor no matter what. So at this point it's just about how much money I can make. The answer is going to be a lot, by the way. I'm just going to warn you. Kind of tempted to Welder Helper, Hornbreak my own Welder Helper, and then Primitive Mold here. That might end up costing me a kill on the backliner. Well, I can use any of my imps I hit off of this Primitive Mold in the back to kill the Clip Shaman and then still have it die. None of my imps have any burnout yet. And the potential to be able to hit another Welder Helper here is really sweet. Okay, I'll still take the Impish Scholar. We are back. Sorry about that, guys. Just internet kind of crapped itself for just a moment. All right, horn brake for money, and molten encasement also makes some money. None of this seems particularly important. Do we have a way to use... Nah, I don't have a way to use this Memories of the Melted. Still miss the days when Memories of the Melted worked with morsels. Alright, trinkets. Pyrestone housing. Oh yes. Oh yes. We will take Pyrestone housing. So Pyrestone housing plus reroll is 330. Leaves me with 195, which is not enough to buy most things. Since I know I'm probably taking Pyrestone housing, I might as well go ahead and conceal caverns first. That's a skip. Last time we needed it, this time I imagine we won't have problems killing things. So let's just build the thickest consumer of crowns. Multi-strike doesn't matter if they're not attacking, so I think we're fine. It's a good rule of thumb is it doesn't, there's no reason to care if your opponent is multi-striking if they don't attack. That's my high-level gameplay advice. Also nice the sycophants just auto-die to the jack strips here. Actually, you know what? Not only is that part of what this channel is about, but I'm also just going to go ahead and demonstrate for the YouTube VOD how this works. So you see I played Infinite Box, and these are my hits over here. So if I re-roll the fight, which is typically just done for when you make mistakes, I can actually reset the RNG on the Infinite Box. It doesn't just happen just by playing the cards. If I was to play this Infinite Box right now, I'll go ahead and demonstrate. It'll still generate me a Welder Helper and a Molting Imp. Exact same spots. Okay? But let's say I instead play a unit on any specific floor first. So, for example, let's get Shardtail Queen down here and then play Infinite Box. Okay, same results. I promise you this will work. That was an absurd coincidence. All right, let's do this. Let's say we just randomly throw a Transcendent down. Also worth noting, I can actually play this Consumer of Crowns, and I'm just a dumb. But I still want to demonstrate what's going on here. Hold on. Does this just not work with Infinite Box, or was something changed in the last couple weeks? Am I insane, Tom? Or does something seem different here? A patch? That is my guess. Okay, I was not insane. That was just an insane coincidence. Because I tried 4 different combinations and got the same result. Okay. We're still good. Things still work exactly the way... Okay. So anyways, you see I now got Welder Helpers here. Or as a second Welder Helper. So it's possible there's some combination of playing my cards and playing them on specific floors that'll cause me to get a Pyre Chomper. It cares about the order you play your cards in, the floors you play units on, and the targets of your spell. In this case, this shouldn't matter too much. I don't actually need a Pyre Chomper thanks to the Parade on Shardtail Queen here. So I'm actually kind of just fine with this because it gives me a Welder Helper. Welder Helper might just be better off tanking here long term. I think I'm actually going to Transcendent top floor and let Transcendent chill with my Consumer of Crowns. Generates a lot of armor. Yeah, as you saw, I could change what I roll off the Infinite Box, so if I did not have Parade, I could maybe shift around how I play the Shardtail Queen and my Imps to eventually generate a Pyre Chomper off that Infinite Box and be able to play Consumer of Crowns on turn 1. Well, this is a pretty sick Wickless Tycoon. Actually, Wickless Tycoon in the middle floor works really well here. I'll get to clean up these sycophants anyways. It sets it behind an Entombed Explosive. Seems nice. Could still just Wickless Tycoon here, but this Transcendent's kind of stuck. And I think this will be fine. I actually want more of these sycophants to die. I can still preserve some health with a Fledgling Imp here. And then I can also go ahead and Wicklash, get this Imp to die long term. Give me more space on that floor. Ow. That was just rude. Alright. Good time for a Wickless Baron. But at this point, this Molten Encasement here is just kind of going to do everything we need to do. Question just becomes how much money can we make? I don't actually want to be able to kill more things on this floor. I don't really care to hit another Transcendent up there. Let's start building some rage. If I had another Hornbreak and I could kill on this floor, that would be pretty sick. But I don't think it's going to happen. Still make some good money here. Not quite enough. Alright, I want the Sycophant to just die on the next floor. Okay. So I can Hornbreak my own Imp in the back, but it's not like I'm making enough extra mana unless I hit a Pyre Chomper off this, yeah. So let's just... He'll still die to the sweep here. Alright, and then our big Mimi boy here just massacres him. Very rare you actually get Consumer of Crowns to do its thing in Covenant 25. And for the reasons I've explained before, it's just it's very unreliable, very wonky. This is good. I'm gonna say decent. Yeah, decent sounds correct. All right, Infinite Box. Sacred Wicks seems kind of fine. If I was fighting Seraph the Patient, I would probably take Mortal Entrapment here, just to help my other floors survive against Seraph the Impatient. Overall, I think this is a skip. I just need to do I need my first couple turns to be consistent, and Sacred Wicks does absolutely nothing. Alright. So, at this point, I'm probably... Do I have a dupe in... Am I going to have access to Merchant of Steel into dupe? Well, I can Merchant of Steel this. Dupe is on the Merchant of Magic side. That might still be fine. The Consumer's the thing I want to dupe, but I would rather dupe it after I'm set up with 2 more upgrades on it. I also have good opportunities to upgrade Wickless Baron. The question is, do I really need another Molten Encasement? I think another Molten Encasement is fine, because I can use that on my Shardtail Queen floor and actually just start chunking into things with like some Fledgling Imps. It also means I hit my molten encasement faster, which is very valuable. So basically, overall, I want a dupe on molten encasement, dupe on consumer of crowns, and there's only 2 available. Might as well do the one that doesn't really need upgrades first. Let's start shaving down the deck. Thanks to Impsicle and Shardtail Queen having Parade, I might be able to just cut the other units from my deck and hit my consumers earlier, more consistently. I'd still like to keep the Wickless Baron, and Wickless Baron, now that once I have the extra capacity upgrade after this fight, will work very well on Shardtail Queen's floor. Tycoon can definitely get out of the deck if I'm not worried about my ability to play Consumer on turn 1. Which I don't think I will be. As long as I have 1 Imp in my opening hand, then my Impsicle plus that and playing both of them on the Parade floor will actually be enough to let me cast Consumer. Let's just start setting up this floor. Get some Imps to die. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty fine. One or the other. Let's get a Fledgling Imp in the bin. More things to reform. Okay. Kind of nice to set up Wickless Baron on this middle floor. He will get the Jackstrip kills on Quill Marksman. They'll pay me for those. I like Welder Helper. I like getting the Welder Helper down, but I don't like it sticking around. Because I don't have Imperialist here. I can't reliably sacrifice it. I could just throw the Welder Helper in front here. Leaves me and him kind of hanging around for a turn. It'll die next turn anyways. Give me an extra harvest. It's all these are all good things. Now the Rage doesn't get me there, but the Queen's Impling actually does. I'd like to get this kill here, just make sure I actually get some amount of harvests over here. Also nice that I can throw this here to get 5 extra gold on it burning out. Now we got this Clip Guardian swinging by me here. I will actually get a hit on him, thanks. No, Consumer of Crown's not going to hit. He's going to be dazed. That's just a bit awkward. Just a little awkward. It's fine. Let's make sure we kill that. And then a Pyre Chomper will do enough here. I will actually want some blocks for this Consumer of Crowns. The Molten Casement's going to do enough. Just make sure we get more deaths. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a really, really sizable chunk to this. I have to hit this 4 times, which means it hits me 5. Now, it's going to go down to 8 power on the next turn and then 6 the turn after that. So I'll take 1 hit for 8 and then 4 hits for 6. That ends up being 32 damage total. It's not great, but it's kind of just what we're working with here. I'm going to say I'm not thrilled about it, but at this point we aren't going to take more damage this fight. Very confident in that. I can actually just double Molten Encasement here. Maybe I just build this boy up and don't worry about having a second one. Though the second one's what's really giving me the damage output to actually kill waves as they come up. Which seems to be the biggest problem this deck's going to have. Yeah. Let's get the Burnout Imp on the Wickless Tycoon floor. Tough to keep that floor alive down there. No real reason to pay any particular imps. Okay. 15's a lot. Okay. I would like for Fell to not win on this floor, which seems very doable. I don't think I could make this floor win if I tried. Oh, let's make some money. Everyone loves money. Okay. Anyways. Throw an imp down there. Alright. So... let's see, we hit... I was hoping to hit a Pyre Chomper there. So let's throw this here. I'd still like to put some good damage into her. Not that I'm worried about losing this fight. The Consumer of the Crowns just wins now if I don't do anything anyways. But it's a good habit to build up. So, what kind of upgrades am I looking for? I mean, more multi-strike is always good. I guess, as far as my deck as a whole goes, Transcendent is a good upgrade. But on the Consumer of Crowns, multi-strike is good. I don't think I'm taking Quick. It would be good in the pre-Molten encasement phase of the fights. But I'm almost just as likely to hit Molten Encasement before the Consumer of Crowns as I am the other way around. Though that doesn't really hold because of the guaranteed unit draw, but it's not that far off of 50%. Extra capacity still the take here. I think multi-strike is it. Obviously Endless isn't. I'm not taking Quick. I don't think I can afford a large stone. So it's probably just multi-strike, strength stone, and battle stone. Let's go and try to get the dupe set up here. Also at this point I now have a good Endless and Burnout upgrade on the Transcendent, which adds more value to this Merchant of Steel. There's the Quick. I'll take a Burnout on Transcendent, but I can't reliably kill it since I don't have Imperialist. I would really like that dupe in the last ring, which means I'm not hitting another Merchant of Steel unless I feel like I desperately need it. So do I think I need to take the Strength Stone here? So most of the upgrades I listed are rare upgrades anyways. Well, it's a rare upgrade that's really valuable. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Strength Stone the Consumer of Crowns. Yeah, it's Large Stone. Large Stone's not great. Maybe I'm enough worried about the early game to justify Fury Stone. But honestly, with double Consumer on the floor, even with how much stealth I'm going to have, I think Heartstone's actually going to do quite a bit for me. So once the stealth is gone, it equates to likely an extra turn of hits. In fact, I can guarantee it's an extra turn of hits. Yeah. Just keep degunking the deck. At this point, maybe I'd go ahead and get rid of Wickless Tycoon. I still like having him right now. That's a bit close. I think it's important enough to get him out of the deck early. You saw in that last wave, not having the Consumer of Crown set up for that Clip Guardian is the only thing that caused me to take damage, and it caused me to take a lot of damage. Alright, rally. The extra stats there on Parade's actually a consideration, but... Mark of Invasion, that's not the one I wanted to see. Mark of Invasion might actually just be too annoying, and I have a decent amount of money. Let's just not take any risks right now. The Wilt Wing, that will spawn Wilt Wings, and they could just burst down some of my floors here. Okay. So I'd like to get my first Molten Encasement going, just to stop the subsequent Pyre Wing triggers. I'm not really going to be able to do that for this Pyre Wing, unfortunately. I'm probably just eating the Emerald Rain from that one. Might as well just consume her middle floor, right? Yeah. Having my consumer floor be the one I play here to kill this Pyre Wing next turn is more valuable because only consumer is going to be hit, so that's only one Ember Drain. It's not bad at all. Unfortunately, I have to play a lot of imps here. Can Wicklash help me start getting rid of one of them, and I can Horn Break another? It's good. Helps me clear out room for the Wickless Baron. Start softening up waves a bit here. Can also Welder Helper Consumer, which is nice. So, Baron, Welder Helper, and Entombed Explosive. Alright, and there's my first Molten Encasement. Now I shouldn't end up taking a lot of Ember Drain. Could still end up taking some if I can't clear out tanks fast enough. But I also don't think that'll be a problem, thanks to the Ashes of the Fallen and Queen's Implings. Can also just start building Rage on Consumer of Crowns. Pretty reliably have those imps swept. No. But I can throw them in front to block. This Molten Encasement dies anyways. Yeah, let's get one down here. Let's throw them in front of the Molten Encasement and have them die. It's time to get a Transcendent down. We'll say that. Alright. Just build a ridiculous amount of stealth. It's unfortunate I don't get a lot of options of how to play on these turns. My mana is a bit restrictive. I don't really care if that goes up too much, do I? I'd like to just keep building up Rage so I can one-tap these. This Pyre Wing is actually quite a problem. Could actually see just throwing around Primitive Mold, try and hit that Transcendent again at some point. I can throw one behind to actually kill a Lightwing. Yeah, this Pyre Wing's kind of just happening on this next floor. That's just the reality we live in. It's not too bad. Just keep beefing our boy up. So I'll take one Ember Drain. Oh no, I don't end up taking any because everything died. Yep, get the kill. Now we get Ember Drained a lot. Alright. Big boy with the trunk doing what he does. I almost wonder if Consumer of Crowns is swinging around one of the Awoken. I feel like that's a definite possibility, right? In a world where we have tree people, hitting someone with a tree is a bit more graphic.
wanted to get it done before you got home, so I know you don't like it, but that is very disappointing. I make this an Instagram short easily. Because the first minute is fine. It's just the middle of the song, there's that skip, and I can't fix it. I'm trying to figure it out.
Wax snuffer? Yeah, wax snuffer. I can actually also see improved firebox here. It's possible I end up having to play 2 Consumer of Crowns in my first turn, and it just adds a little more consistency for me.
Well, let's find that skip.
Now, I can also see a damage upgrade on a horn break. It actually lets me cross the threshold of being able to kill a lot of the tanks that appear in these later game fights. But I don't think it's extremely necessary. In fact, I'd like to just spend about as much money as I can on card removal here. Let's get rid of the Wicklashes. Still going to keep the Wickless Baron around for now. Alright. So now, double consumer molten encasement floor. I get to play my other molten encasement on my Shardtail Queen floor.
That's a great Instagram short.
A single molten encasement dying is now stealth 4, so. Capacity reduction on that middle floor is a bit annoying. I might just play my Shardtail Queen floor down here. It seems fine enough. Oh, should have played Wickless Baron first. This is why we need the punt counter. Alright, he's going to take a hit here. And so am I. Both of those are fine. Not sweating it. Alright, the first molten encasement can just go down here. Should be fine. I'm going to throw it behind the imp. I need the imp out of the way, actually. Oh, another awkward thing here. I don't actually have the space to be able to get enough imps down to allow me to play the Consumer of Crowns. Because I need to play them on this floor to go mana positive, right? I can play 1 here for free. Puts them down to 4. And then I play 2 more here. Okay, I can actually pull this off. I just have to kind of chuck imps on a random floor, but I think that also means I'm not getting the molten encasement down. I will need a welder helper here to help me block. So now he costs 4. Now he costs 1, which means I can still get the encasement going. And I might as well get it going on top. Okay, we're good. Now that we're set up, we're kind of just pressing buttons. We're in the pressing buttons phase. It's a good phase to be in. A Transcendent in the back here seems really, really solid. This guy is kind of just walking in my neighborhood. I don't appreciate that. Not one bit. Just gonna get more imps out of the way here. Okay. And actually getting the extra kill here just for the stats on Wickless Baron is kind of nice. Honestly, at this point, we know what's happening here. I'm just going to start throwing things on the board. Should be fine. I could actually win on this bottom floor very reasonably. But let's just expedite this process. Oh, I went on bottom floor without even putting the effort into winning on bottom floor. See, like, as much as molten encasement annoys me as a design, I like the card, and it also makes this very doable. Like, it adds to consistency, which is kind of just my whole brand right now. So I'm not sure. Mixed emotions, to say the least. GG, Seraph.